Hello friends, it's Kathy and welcome back to my YouTube channel and into my craft room. I'm so happy that you're here today, and look at this beautiful card we're going to work on today. I hope that you will enjoy this tutorial. This card is more of a winter card, but with a season's greeting and a Happy New Year sentiment, and this is what happens when you open it. Isn't that adorable? I'm going to show you exactly how to make this card, so stay tuned, come on back, and we'll get busy. Okay, we're back, and like I said, we're going to work on this card, and I want to show you the products that I used first. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm located in the beautiful state of North Carolina, but I can take care of your stamping needs. So if you see any of these items that you would like to purchase, please reach out to me, or you can go to the link below this video and or check out my blog, and you can find the store there as well as under the video. But anyway, what I want to do is I want to focus in on this horse and sleigh stamp and die set. Now if you notice the red dots, this means this is an online exclusive, so you can't find this in any of the catalogs, and this is available right now. You don't have to wait until the 6th of September to pick this up. This is on our online store, and I'll show you how to get there before we leave. But this is your stamp set, and it has some beautiful sentiments, some trees, and a little rabbit, some little snowflakes, a little I call it a landing place that you can use, but I didn't use any of that. The only thing I used out of here was the sleigh, and let me show you that stamp because it is quite a substantial stamp. I mean, you see in my hand how big it is. So when you make it and put it onto a card, you can see that it is quite the piece, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to be using that, so I'm going to leave that out. We're also going to be using Sending Warmth Your Way, so I'll take that out. We're also going to be using Wishing You a Season of Cheer and a Happy New Year. So I'm going to lay those over here because that will be for the inside of our card. So let's go ahead and pull some papers, and we'll get this card on the get on the roll with it. The first thing you're going to need is a card base. So here is a half a sheet of boho blue. And I decided to use the boho blue because I think it goes really well with everything else that we're using in here. As you can see, I used this sheet of paper for the inside, and you're going to find this is a very easy card to make. Don't be intimidated by the mechanism. This was all done on a sheet of paper or cardstock, and it turns out so quick and so easy. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the same sheet of paper out again, or do I want to do something different? That one's pretty as well. That one doesn't go with the boho blue as good as this one. So we're gonna stick with the one we already did. And I need to do some scoring first. I'm going to lay my stamps out of my way. And I'm just going to grab my scoreboard first, and we're going to score this into our card base. And we know that it is an A2 size card, so in order to score this, we need to go at 4 1/4. So I'm going to give that a good score right down the middle. And I'm going to turn it over and fold it in, and then while I've got it right here on the scoreboard, I'm going to go ahead and crease that down really well. So now our card base is ready. We will need to come back and do a little bit more scoring, but let's go ahead and cut our designer series paper. So I know that I want this to be on my inside. We need a piece of white, so let me grab a piece of piece of white cardstock. So what we need to do with this, we need to cut a piece that is 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. So I'm going to cut it in half just like I did before. So we're going to cut it at 5 1/2. The reason I'm going to do that is because this will allow me to have another card base right there. So I will lay that over to the side, and now we're going to need to cut this down to 5 1/4. Right now it's 5 1/2, so we're just taking a 1/4 inch off on our length, and then we're going to turn it and we're going to take another 1/4 inch off in this direction. I got a little piece of red cardstock right there. So now we need this piece to be 8 1/4. And we know it's 8 1/2, so I'm going to take a 1/4 inch off right here. So that will give us exactly what we need. Now we need to do some scoring on this. So we need to score it at 3 1/8, 4 1/8, and 5 1/8. So 3 1/8 is right there. Don't get intimidated by the 8s. They're really not that hard. So there's 3 1/8, then we're going to go down to 4 1/8. And one more at 5 1/8. All right, now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and fold this in half, and then we want to fold this one back and this one back. So let's move our trimmer because we need to do some burnishing. So I'm going to hold that piece like that and just give that a good burnish. Then I'm going to open it up, and I want to burnish this piece as well. This is going to make our mechanism that we're going to use. See how that's going to give us that platform, and that's going to go on the inside of our card. So what we're going to do is we're going to line it up, just about like that. You want to make sure you've got the same amount on both sides and the top and the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this up just like that, and I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal on the back of this. Now you can use glue, you could use your two-sided tape, whatever is your favorite adhesive. I'm using the Stampin' Seal because this is real easy for what we're doing. And I'm not going to skimp on my Stampin' Seal because this card's going to get a lot of wear and tear opening it and shutting it. Oh, I didn't want to go past that. All right, I'm going to hold it right there so I can get a little bit right here on the edge. Okay. So again, I'm just going to make sure everything is in tack. And then I'm just going to lay this down on top of it. Oh, that didn't work. So if you work pretty quickly, you can lift this up. All right, we're going to come up here to the top. Just like that. All right, now the bottom one will be easy because now we can put seal on this and put that down, and it should end up in the right place. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and just do it this way. So Stampin' Seal all along. Again, like I said, don't skimp on it. Go ahead and put enough down that you know it's going to hold this mechanism. And I'm going to bring this up And that looks perfect. So now when you fold your card, this all folds down inside like that. That is the first part of our card. The next thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and while I've got this where I can lay it flat, I want to put some ink blending here, because if you noticed on this one, this has like a little wash of blue on it. That didn't happen by accident. That actually happened by me doing some ink blending. So I'm going to grab my brush and my balmy blue, and I have one of the Stampin' Up brushes and my balmy blue ink, and I am going to need, let's get a little piece of grid paper. I'm going to set that right there so that I can tap off over here. So I'm just going to load up some ink on my brush, and I'm going to come over here and tap that off and just kind of start smoothing it, and then I'm going to come in, and I want this to look a little blotchy. I don't want it to be perfect. I just want like a little wash of blue there. So that is sufficient. So I'm going to close up my ink. And now I want to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. And remember me laying out the sentiment that said, here it is. Wishing you a season of cheer and a happy new year. So I'm going to put this right about there. Let's move my grid paper. And maybe this right about here. And I'm going to use a stamp block where I can pick up both of these at one time. Something like this. Now I stamped my last one in VersaFine ink. For this one I think I'm going to use the Night of Navy, because we're going to be pulling in some Night of Navy, and I think it'll be pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. And then I'm going to bring it up to the top as best I can and stamp. Now I'm giving that time enough to adhere to the paper. Let that ink soak in. Oh, so pretty. I love that. Okay, so we got our sentiment on the inside. We need to do some more stamping, but before we do that, let's go ahead and cut our piece of paper for the outside. And for that one, I used something a little more muted, and it was the trees. It was actually this one. I think this gives a really pretty look. And we can save that fox for something else. And let me show you how we do that. Let's lay that piece over here. Let me close up this ink pad before I throw something in it that doesn't belong. Y'all know how that is. Alright, I'm going to bring my trimmer back out, and I'm going to lay this piece in. And I know I need it to be 4 inches. So we need it 4 by 5 1/4. So you can see we're going to miss the fox by cutting it like this. So Mr. Fox can easily hang out in our pack of paper until we find something to use him on. So this needs to be cut off at 5 1/4. So I'm just going to cut one edge of it off, just like that. And now this is going to go down on the front of our card. Just like this. That will go down just like that. Isn't that pretty? It's so soft, but when we add our other elements, it's really going to make it pop. So I'm going to use Stampin' Seal on this as well. And then I'm going to lay this on the front of my card base. Something like that. Give that a good press. Now we're going to do some die cutting. I think the die cutting would be beautiful about now. So I'm going to dig into my stash of papers. And there's a piece in here that looks like an aerial view looking down on the trees. And let's just pull this all out so we can, oh, there it is. And I cut a piece out of that, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut another piece of this out of here, maybe right here. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty right there. So we're going to get our stylish shaped dies. Did I have them out? I already have them out. Wasn't even thinking that they were already laying right here. And I think I'm going to use, let's check and see, I think I used next to the largest in the circles. Yeah, this is the one I used. So I want to come in and get this piece right about there. Yeah, I think that's where I want it. So once you establish where you want it, use some post-it tape like this, or my little post-it flags, whichever you have. I have both, and I just happened to have this laying right in sight, so I grabbed it. And we're just going to tape that down. I am going to use my electronic cutting machine, so just bear with me with the noise. It is a little noisier than a regular die cut machine, but this just saves me time when I'm, you know, kind of in a hurry. Alright, there's our piece that's going to go on the front, and then we need another piece cut with this that's just white. So I'm going to pull that off very gently, and I'm going to leave that tape on there because I'm going to grab a piece of white. So I'm going to look in my scrap bin first, because we know we always got scraps that will accommodate pretty much what we need. So use those scraps first, and that will work. I didn't need white, I needed navy. Oh goodness, I don't know why I was thinking I needed white. That's okay, we have a white circle cut if we need one later. So let's just lay that over there, and let's go back and get a piece of Night of Navy. Let's see if I have any Night of Navy hanging out right here. And I don't. Alright, Bella, move, honey. Move, move. So here's my Night of Navy. This is what I needed to start with. So I'm going to pull that off. I don't know what I was thinking of, that I needed a white piece. Alright, so I'm going to lay this down, and right about there, tape it. And we'll run this one through. Okay, so we have that done. Alright, so we got both of our circles cut. The next thing we need is, using the dies, we're going to cut this little spriggly tree. See that little tree right there? And these are the horse and sleigh dies. And I'm going to cut one tree right there. And I need to cut a white one as well. I think I'm going to get a white one on here. I also need to cut, using the stylish shapes, I need to cut the large banner. So, looking at these dies, I want this large banner right there. And we're going to put that right there. And you know, I don't think I'm going to need to tape it down. I think we'll be alright. I'm going to put it in at an angle so it doesn't stress my machine too much. Get all of our die cutting out of the way, and then we can just do stamping and assembling the card. Alright, so I need to cut this in white as well. But there's our little tree. Everything came out of it beautifully. And here is our label die. That one's ready to go. So now we need a white tree, okay, so now we have our little white tree. Alright, so there's both of our trees and our banner. The only thing we need to cut is, we will need to cut our horse and sleigh out once we get that stamped and colored. We don't need to worry about that just yet. The other thing, I need a little piece of gold. And now I've got a scrap of gold here. There we go. We're going to cut this little squiggly piece. This will go on our sleigh. And we're also going to cut the little piece that goes on the sleigh. So both of these can go down on this one piece. What did I do with my tape? I knew I had it just a minute ago. Okay, since my hands are tied, I'm gonna grab a post-it flag. I just need something that's gonna hold these in place while they're cutting. Something like that. So we got those cut. You know, as we get everything cut, the rest of this will go together really, really super fast. So it's just getting your pieces all laid out that you need. And then you're pretty much on the home stretch. I do need a couple more things. Alright, we have our little sleigh run, and I've got the little gold piece that's going to go down the side of the sleigh. That's all good. Now we need a piece of white. And we are going to cut out the little snowbanks. It's this one and this one. And then just go ahead and put it into your machine. Okay, now we have those done. Now the only thing left is going to be our horse and sleigh, and of course we can't do that until we get our sleigh stamped and colored. So I'm going to grab another piece of basic white. And we're going to bring in that sleigh, and you can see this is quite a big stamp. So for this, I am going to use my positioner, and y'all know that I've been using the Alter craft wheel and loving it. So I'm going to bring that out. I'm going to lay everything over here that we don't need any longer. Put my dies back in there. So this is my stamp wheel. You can see I've already gotten ink on it, but that's okay. My dot in the middle is my center. So if I ever need it for centering up something, I have that already established. I'm going to use my wheel to pick this stamp up. And you can see the photopolymer holds this in. No magnets, no anything except this big grid of photopolymer, and I love it because even though it holds my cardstock in, it releases so easy. So let's hope we're in the right position. Yeah, that's good. Alright, with that pressed in, I'm going to turn this over and just lock it in, and I'm ready to do some inking. So I know since I'm going to be using alcohol blends, my Stampin' Blend markers, I'm going to ink this up in Memento. So let's go ahead and get this inked up. And we're going to flip it. And stamp it. Pretty good, but I need to do it one more time. So I'm going to ink that up. And now let's just flip it back over set it back down and give it a rub. Very nice. So now I'm just going to close that up, and that kind of seals my piece inside so it doesn't get any Stampin' Mist on it. And I'm going to go ahead and clean this stamp. So we can take and peel this off now and put it back from whence it came. Alright, so now we can go ahead and peel this piece off. And we're ready to do some alcohol blending. Now, if you remember me cutting this little piece goes on the sleigh like this, just to give it a little more decorative charm. But before we do any of that, let's go ahead and get it colored and die cut. Alright, the first thing I want to do is I want to color my sleigh. So I'm going to come in with my light. Now, as I color this, I'm going to put on some Christmas music and just enjoy the relaxation of some instrumental music while I get this colored, and we'll speed it up a little bit so it won't take so long. So hang tight. Alright, we got most of our coloring done. I do want to come in with some flush color for their faces, and I'm using the Stampin' Up! 900, and this is the light. And I made a couple of boo-boos on this, and I used my color lifter, but it doesn't look like it's lifted enough. I'm hoping when I die cut this it will not be as noticeable. Alright, let's put our die cut on here and go ahead and cut this out and see what it looks like, and then we can go from there. did pull out quite a few Stampin' Blends. We'll move those all over out of our way. And let's see how this cut. Oh, not bad. And I don't notice a whole lot of my color where I had that little bit of bleed. So I think we're good with that. I'm going to go ahead and use this piece and stamp my sentiment that's going to go on the front. So let's move this out of our way. Another thing I want to stamp is on our piece of light. That's going to be about like that. We're going to put, this is another stamp set, and I only pulled it. This is the Magical Meadow, and it's also in our mini catalog, so this one will not be available, but Winter Wishes. I think that's such a cute stamp, and it's it just looks good on here, I think. So we're going to stamp it right about here. So I need to grab another stamp block that will accommodate this Winter Wishes. Just like that. Now I think we can proceed to putting the front of our card together. So now the front of our card is going to be very basic. We are going to put this on here like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the back of this. Again, I'm going to make sure I know exactly where my glue needs to go. And if you notice, I put it on like that. So I kept my finger here because I didn't need glue to hit there. Just need it like that. So there's that piece. Alright, this is ready to go down right here. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of this. Then we're going to go ahead and adhere this kind of up to the top but over to the right. And then we've got our two little trees, and we're going to put them together something like that just by laying a little glue down. And then just kind of glue them together, something like that. And then we're going to put glue on both of our trunks and come up and hit and miss a little bit all around. We can set our trees right here. Give that a press. I am going to stamp that sentiment one more time. some of this trash off of our desk, off of my desk. And I think what I want to do is I want to stamp it right here, and then I'm just going to cut it out as a square. I think that's my best bet with this one. For some reason, some stamps look good when you trim around them like that, and others don't. This is one that does not. Alright, so I'm going to grab my large scissors and I'm going to cut straight down, and then I'm going to cut it off here and here. Then let's see how that looks. Still don't like the way it looks. I think I can live with that one. So I think we finally got that to work. What I could have done is just grabbed another die, but I don't like to do things the easy way. Anyway, we are ready now. We've got this ready. We need to put some glue on this so we can put the gold on our sled. So here is our sled right here. And I want to adhere this to this piece. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some glue on this piece. And then we're going to lay this gold down on top of it. Just like that. Then we have this little scrolly piece, and we're going to put it right about here. So this piece is going to need glue on the back of it, and it is a tiny little piece to get glue on. So I'm just being really careful as I put glue on this, just to kind of make sure that I'm getting a little bit of glue all the way up. Alright, we've got that piece done. So let's go ahead and lay this to the side. Let's put, I think I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. And I'm going to use some of my little bits and pieces here. Alright, so I've got adhesive on that, and we are ready to pull the backers off, and then we'll stick this onto our label. Alright, that piece is done, so let's bring our card back over, and this piece is going to go right about here. So I'm going to put glue on the back of this. And I'm going to lay this right here. That's the front of our card is done. Other than putting some snowflakes on it, that one is done. And we'll embellish it when we finish getting everything else ready. So I have my snowbanks and my horse and sleigh. And now we need to determine how much paper we need for our designer series paper. And I believe I got my notes, 5 1/8 by 6. 5 1/8 by 6. So this is where we need to decide where we want this. So this needs to be at 6. Alright, so now we need to decide 5 1/8. So I'm going to cut that side off because I really want this side. Now we need to score at 1 and 2. So put it in and score it at 1, then move it down and score it at 2. Now let's cut an inch off of the bottom. Now let's cut this inch right here off of the bottom. And then we're going to score. So this piece is going to be 5 by 5 1/8. So we scored 1 inch here. We're going to come in and score another inch right there. Alright, so I'm going to rewrite my notes. So it's 5 by 5 1/8. Y'all are hearing my dog in the background. That's Bella, and she's had her, she's been out. She's had her breakfast and a treat, and she is sleeping up a storm. Okay, we've got this piece right now, so let's go ahead and glue this in. Just like that. So I'm going to use some liquid glue, and I'm going to do this and this. That's our 2 score lines that goes around our mechanism. So let's go ahead and glue that onto our mechanism first. So make sure it's coming down. Fold that, give it a good press, and it should look like that. And then we're going to fold this one down, and we're going to put glue on it. Alright, so now our mechanism is in, and so is our scene. So now we can go ahead and bring in our horse and sleigh. This is going to sit right about here. So we know that we need to put glue about to here. We're going to turn our horse around, and we're going to set this down right about there. Close your card and give it a press. Now we have our little horse and carriages all in. Now we need to put our snowbanks in. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the back of these. And then this is our bigger snowbank. And we're just going to glue it down right beside of that one. Again, I'm going to press everything shut and give it a good burnish, or I should say a good press. Definitely need to get the glue off of my fingers. And now we're ready to do some embellishments. So I'm going to bring in, this is also in this collection, and these are the adhesive back snowflake assortment. And it's just that, it's an assortment. So I'm going to grab my, take your pick tool, and I want some of these smaller snowflakes to be coming down. I'm going to use a little bit of glue because I lost my glue dot on this one. And I think I want this one right about here. Definitely lost the glue dot right there. But that's okay. My alcohol wipes will easily wipe that away. That is the wonderful thing of having a glass mat. Alright, so now I want to go inside. I think I want one of the gold stars out here as well. So I'm going to grab another one of these. And that's it for my front. And then inside I want to put Alright, there is the inside of my card. I love the way this turned out. I think it's gorgeous. I hope that this is a design that you might want to try. And try, if you don't have this set, you could use anything that gives you something that looks like it's moving. The little truck punch would be cute on this card. There's just so many possibilities of what you could do. I love the way it turned out. You will need to do a little extra burnishing on this because, let's face it, it does not want to stay shut. But you know what? You can send this to someone. You might have to add a little extra postage. So I usually, when I have a heavier card like this, I will add my 2 cents worth. But this card is so much fun. For anybody that gets it, I think they will love it. So until next time, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for watching my tutorial on making this winter card. And we are going to call this one a horse and sleigh, or a winter scene with horse and sleigh. I think that will be apropos. Thanks again so much. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is so worthy. So until next time, God bless and keep you. Bye-bye.